Hey everybody, this is Beaumont Enterprise Sports Reporter Avi Zalen alongside also Beaumont Enterprise Sports Reporter David Barry, no more, no less. We kind of welcome you to a new thing we hope to start doing. I know it's kind of weird, second week in district, but better late than never. For now, let's call it Friday Night Lookback, because it is still Friday night and we're
I think we can do that.
We're looking back at what we just did.
Quick little recap.
If we think of something more clever, we'll change it.
Yeah.
Tonight, I was at the reservation where LCM upset P&G. And David, where were you? And tell us a little bit about what happened.
I was at Vidor tonight, and I saw it was a game between Vidor and Ozen. Ozen won, and not just won; they won in convincing fashion, 41-21. It was definitely one of those that I picked. I'll fess up. I picked Vidor to win.
You and everybody else. It's okay.
But what ended up happening, honestly, the biggest change of the game and could be for the season is head coach Keith McGee for Ozen decided to bench Javaris Curl, put him out. He played wide receiver tonight, but he started sophomore Joshua Boyd at quarterback, and he was impressive. He had 210 yards passing, had 180 yards rushing. He accounted for all 6 Ozen touchdowns. He ran for 3, passed for 3. He was impressive. Vidor just couldn't stop him when they ran the zone read, just passing the ball. He just had his way for the most part.
And had Vidor really seen a team like that, a team that athletic that likes to run things like the read option prior to this?
No, I
game,
don't think so. I think
so. It was kind of new for them.
It was new, and definitely, like I said, I feel the quarterback. He was so big, and he literally he would run, and he would just. I mean, Vidor defenders were just slipping off of him, couldn't tackle him.
And Sage Smith, I mean, this is a kid who has impressed us pretty much all season. Slowed down a little against Niederland, and now for the second straight week, doesn't put up those big numbers. What happened?
Yeah, well, here's the thing with Vidor. Vidor puts up so many rushing yards per week. They average, coming into tonight, average 328 yards. So when Sage Smith runs for 128 yards, any other running back, that's good. But for the offense that Vidor runs, 128 yards isn't a lot on 19 carries. Right. He didn't do much. So, yeah, it was Ozen definitely. Their defense, they've had the athletes, and I think they finally just put it together. So how is it seemed your game kind of went kind of opposite of how we all picked it?
Yeah, we picked the two kind of upset specials tonight. LCM just in every facet of the game, they beat them 31-13, I believe. That might just be my bad memory. Of course, I just came back to the game. Yeah, I'm right. Hey, well, that doesn't happen a lot. LCM pulls off the upset on homecoming.
Yeah. At
the reservation against the P&G team that had all sorts of momentum entering this game and became sort of the media darlings of kind of the district. And all of a sudden it's P&G's back and P&G's rolling and, oh my God, they could compete for a district championship. Yeah. And then in one night it just all goes away. And to me, it kind of felt like, and I wrote this in the article, which you can read in tomorrow's paper, plug, it felt like a time machine of sorts. Last year we watched as Alex Caesar just dazzled everybody for LCM, running over people, leading that attack. He's now a freshman over at Texas A&M, and P&G kind of regressed a little that season, obviously, with missing the playoffs. And this game kind of took us back to that a little. LCM got back to that great running game. They rushed for 253 yards tonight. 2 of the running backs went for over 100 yards, and their offensive line was a huge part of that. So literally, there's a 330-something pound guy, his name escapes me, for LCM, that on anything in short, goal line, 3rd down, 4th down, Coach Crouch dials it up, QB sneak behind, the big uglies, and boom, it's literally 5 different times this works. One time it's for a touchdown, another time it's for a 4th down conversion. It was almost like a guarantee. It was kind of the easiest NCAA 14 thing you can think of.
So it's kind of opposite of what we thought about LCM, because I thought LCM, they have Caleb Harley, the great quarterback from last year, and they had Doyle, so it's a surprise. But for you, does this spell doom and gloom for PNG, or is it just one of those setbacks?
I think this was a little bit more on the PNG offense. I look at PNG as a team that can allow 31 points because they'll score 45, because they're capable of that, or at least I thought they were. So I'm okay with PNG giving up that many points, but I'm not okay with the PNG offense committing 5 turnovers and putting up only 2 touchdowns, especially to begin the game. They started in LCM territory on the first 3 possessions and came away with points only once.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that. And so I think maybe a little bit, and I know many reinforcements, I think maybe a little bit they underestimated LCM. There was some going for it on 4th down. There was some kind of taking that risk, assuming that we can make up for it later instead of taking maybe an easy 3. PNG has one of the best kickers right now in the area. I think he nailed a 40-yarder the other week, and he never got a chance outside of an extra point. I think PNG recovers. I think they're still a playoff team. Kai Walker's still a great quarterback. Adam Morse is still a great quarterback. Brent Halfren's good. This just wasn't PNG's night, and when it rains, it pours. And in the reservation, you needed buckets tonight.
Well, I think you got LCM right now 2-0. I mean,
they're tied for first in the district.
They're tied with Nederland for first in the district. I mean, I don't think going into district play, I don't think anybody would have called that, honestly. I wouldn't have.
But it's such a technicality. It's like, hey, we're first in district after 2 games.
Yeah.
It's like, so I mean it's something, but we know that's probably not going to be reality when things starts to shape up, and a lot of that has to do with who they play. I tell you what's interesting to me, next week PNG gets Central at home. And that's a really intriguing game for me. Central pounded Lumberton tonight. And they're making a nice little run. So I think that's a potential bounce back game for PNG, but it's not against the Cupcake.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for them. I mean, like you say, Central and Ozen, they're almost mirror images from personnel standpoint. I mean, they're athletic, so that defense will give PNG's offense all the trouble that it wants or doesn't want.
Yeah, I think if you're the blueprint for beating PNG was laid out tonight, and that is you dominate up front, you get a lot of pressure on their quarterbacks, and you force them into bad situations because PNG threw 4 interceptions tonight, and some of those came with a guy in their face. So moving forward, and this is kind of the end of my article. Randy Kraut says something cliche, but so true in District 24A. Any given team against any given opponent on any given night. And this year, it's not clear-cut, this team's good, this team's bad, this team's for the most part. Nederland's not going to get handed the district crown on a silver platter this year. Nobody's making it into the playoffs easy. It's going to make for a really fun and interesting season, but keep that in mind as district goes on, that you can't look at a team like LCM that PNG did tonight and say, oh, homecoming. Let's get them. Let's have some fun with this one. It didn't happen. So those are my closing thoughts. Is there anything else you want to kind of wrap up tonight with?
As far as, like you said, this district's wide open. Next week, I can't remember the game I'll be at on Friday. I know Saturday I'll be at the Ozen Livingston game. Oh, Friday I'll actually be going out to Chambers County, see Newton and East Chambers taking a little small school football. But I think for 4A, I think everything will even out. I do think Vidor will improve. Vidor plays Lumberton next week, and it's a little bit of a homecoming for Vidor's offensive coordinator, Alvin Kretter. He was the head coach at Lumberton last year, so there will be some emotion there. But I think things will even out. Like you can't overreact too much to things going on in the second week of district. So I think, I know there's some Vidor fans that are going to be, overreacting. Same thing with PNG, but it's week 2 going into week 3 of district. Just relax.
Yeah. There's a lot of other storylines we could get to, but you don't want to look at our faces for this long. For example, North Shore Memorial next week. Really excited for that. Like I said, a lot of other things going on, but for now, just give you a taste of that. Look for our stories on BeaumontEnterprise.com. Read our tweets if you want insight, humor, and everything else that
Love it.
comes between.
A lot of good food stuffs.
We'll see. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.